Hello and good evening to all the viewers from here and around the world. This is Mark Alvi, Wang Changhao. Good evening, and I will be the host for you guys for this prestigious event. And would like to welcome you to a live streaming event. We have invited the second batch of our contestants for Mr. and Miss Chinatown. So, are you guys all excited? Because I am definitely am. So before we begin, though, we would like to introduce or actually acknowledge the people behind or responsible for making this event. So we'd like to acknowledge Mr. and Miss Chinatown 2020 president. So we have Mr. Wilson Agbayani and Alexis Go. All right, and also we have Chinoy TV president. Chinoy TV is also called Phil Chai Media Productions. So we have Miss Lorraine Tan and Alvin Tan. And also would like to express the gratitude for Mr. Miko Araneta. So Mr. Miko Araneta was the is the pageant director for Mr. and Miss Chinatown Philippines 2020. All right. So, also before we begin, I would like to just inform you guys about again a quick reminder about Mr. and Miss Chinatown is not all just for show, but this is definitely have a strong mission. So, mission for Chinatown is it's aimed towards the pursuit of the mission to empower the modern Chinese young men and women in their roles as proactive agents of social change and exemplary models of Chinese values and culture in the modern age. Thus, they come up with this theme as we've been seeing they've been flashing on all their promotions rise. So rise is rebuild, inspire, strengthen, and empower. All right. So now, without any further ado, I will now be introducing the contestants. Again, they're the second batch already. So, you guys excited? So, let's now go on to first we have Mr. Jerick Louis.
Okay. Hi, ni hao. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jerry Clue. I'm 25 years old from Davao City.
There we have it,
Hi.
Mr. Jerick Louis. Hello. All right. So next we have here Miss Maxie Kong.
大家好，我叫王信怡。Hi everyone, I'm Maxine Kong, 18 years old, born and raised in Davao City.
Hi, Maxie. Welcome to Pageant Trend. All right. And then next we have is Jiro Go. There,
大家
Jiro Go.
好，我是吴长江，我今年23岁。I'm Jiro. I'm currently 23 years old, and I'm currently residing here in Caloocan City.
Thank you so much, Jiro Go. All right. So for our next contestant is Miss Julian Yap.
大家好，我叫洪万瑜. I'm Julian Yap. I'm 22 years old and currently residing in Quezon City.
Thank you so much, Julian. Next we have Eric Hua.
晚上好，我是柯炳煌. Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Kua, and I'm 24 years old, and I'm currently in Valenzuela City.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you, Eric. And last but not the least is Miss Leticia Tan. Hi,
大家晚上好，嗨，大家晚上好，我叫施伊斯，我今年19岁。 Good evening, everyone. My name is Leticia Tan. I'm 19 years old and I'm from Quezon City.
Good evening, Leticia. Thank you.
Good evening.
There we have it. We are all now complete with the six participants. All right. Good evening. And now I'd just like to ask some, just a quick touch base with you guys. how were you guys during the pandemic, or I would say after the pandemic? For most people, definitely they have been experiencing some challenges along the way. How are you guys? Let's start with Mr. Jarek. Jarek Lap. Jarek Boy, sorry.
So basically, pandemic. It's been hard. Like I'm pretty sure everyone has been going through a lot of problems. But currently, I'm with my family, so I'm lucky that I get to spend more time with them, and I get to be more productive in my own way because I have a lot of time in my hands right now. But bottom line is, I'm happy with the blessings that I'm having right now amidst the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Jarek. That's good being positive. All right, now how about Miss Maxi Kong? What can you share?
Oh, sorry. Ano, can you hear me? Okay. So, so far during this pandemic, it was something that was really hard for us to cope with. But now that we're on the new normal, it is something that we're all getting used to. Since I'm in senior high, I'm still balancing my academics and my extracurricular as well as this pageant. It was hard at first, but after a while, it was something that I got used to.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we have Mr. Jiro Go.
With this pandemic, I think that it's actually quite different. We'd have to adjust to the new normal, and as everyone else did as well, I did have a fair share of downfalls this pandemic. I have lost a few relatives because of the virus, but yeah, I always have a positive outlook in life, and making sure that that I do something beneficial for me, not only for myself, but let's say for my family, for my friends. I have to basically rise up and continue doing what I'm doing. So with my balancing my job and of course this pageant and of course my personal business as well. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Go. Thank you. All right, so next we have here is Miss Julian Yap.
So at first, much like everyone, it was quite difficult because I'm actually a person of routine. I like following my schedule, and so when the pandemic happened, this sort of uncertainty shackled my sort of routine, and so I had to adapt and adjust to the new normal, much like everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Yap. All right, so let's move on to the next, which is Mr. Eric Kua.
Hi, yes. Actually, like everyone, sobrang challenging talaga nung pandemic. But especially mentally, very mentally challenging siya. But what I can assure right now is I've already adjusted sa new norm. And hopefully, no, we can have a December COVID-free. And COVID-free December.
Yeah, hopefully, yes. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Eric. So last but not the least, we have Leticia Tan. How are you during this pandemic?
Hi. So, parang at first, of course, during the pandemic, parang it was hard kasi like we're not allowed to go out, we're not allowed to socialize, ganon. So, parang, especially me, personally, I love going out. So, this time around, parang, at first I was really sad. But then, parang as time went by, I realized na what really matters, which is family and relationships. And I think, we have to look at it in a different light na during this pandemic, at least we now know like the real value of family and friendship. So yun.
Amazing. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right. Everything that you shared are awesome. Now, I also have another question is, so what has been your realization? So, provided you already have mentioned na sabi niyo yung mga bagay na yan, mga na-experience niyo during pandemic. So, ano yung na-realize niyo afterwards? So, let's start again with Mr. Jeric Louis.
So realizations, of course, first and foremost is to not take things for granted, especially your relationship with your family and friends. But right now, COVID, it's disrupted our day-to-day activities, and there's this new normal. And we before kasi we try to be we get tend to be lax with the people around us, and right now it's made us realize that the relationships that we have, especially with our family and friends, are important, very important actually. And also, there's also the financial aspect, right? Because before everything was normal, like we who would have thought that a pandemic like this would affect the economy so much? So I guess it's also an eye opener for people to realize that saving is also like a huge priority for everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Loy. All right. So let's go to Miss Maxine Kong.
So, what made some realizations that I've had during this pandemic was that to not take things for granted and to really value what we have, because one day these things might just disappear, or like something would happen out of nowhere like this pandemic. And with that, I feel like we should really value what we have and the things that are important in our life and the things that are really vital in our life, like our family, our friends, and the blessings that we have already. And I think with that, we shouldn't take these for granted, and we should actually just appreciate them and give them more acknowledgement, and just learn to like adapt with what we have and to live with what we have, because one day these things might just go away from us and we shouldn't take them for granted.
Correct. Thank you so much, Miss Kong. Now let's have Mr. Jirogo.
For me, it's basically valuing time and life. So just to share, this pandemic, I lost a cousin of mine, and she was basically 2 years old. Just imagine that. And she couldn't even say mommy and daddy yet, and then she just lost her life. Syempre, everyone was sad. And then literally a week after that, then my grandfather passed away because of COVID. So
Oh my.
you know that the time that I could have spent with them before the pandemic, I should have cherished them more, in a sense na I talk to them about my life, what I want to do in the future, about my goals in life and whatnot. And that's when you realize how we sometimes take life for granted. We sometimes think that, wow, life is forever, but in reality, diba, you only live once, and you never
Correct.
know when's your set date for you, diba? When you're gonna pass away or whatnot. And syempre, my mindset of growth mindset, basically, I have this quote from my favorite movie, Meet the Robinsons. It goes like, keep moving forward, diba? So no matter what happened in the past, no matter what you're gonna experience in the future, may it be detrimental to you, may it be negative in your life, you must always have a positive outlook, diba? At the end of the day, it depends on you as a person if you want to promote change to yourself. So yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you, Mr. Go. Must have been hard for you, but I'm glad that I've been seeing all this positivity in you. All right, so now let's go to Miss Julian Yap.
For me, it's about appreciating the little things in life. I'm really blessed that I have my immediate family with me here to comfort me during this pandemic. I'm really glad we get to sing karaoke, to eat together, and I can't wait to be able to go out and hug my grandfather, my cousins again. And apart from that, I also realized that it's really okay to cry. You must be able to feel your feelings. And after that, you can rise up and be happy once again. Not dwell on your difficulties.
Correct. Keep your eyes forward. Yeah. So then let's move on to Mr. Eric Hua.
Yes. Ako naman, for me, I don't have this, FOMO, yung fear of missing out, if you're familiar, ever since talaga. So parang pagka may gatherings or like kita-kits with friends or special occasion. But super workaholic ko kasi, so I don't sacrifice for those. Tapos, ngayon na natanggal lahat ng social gatherings and everything, you are all by yourself, mag-isa ka lang. Yeah, yes, positively, marami ako na-discover sa sarili ko. But right now, na-realize ko na parang, ang dami ko palang na-miss out. Well, hopefully, in the future, after all of this, no, wala na akong mag-miss out, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully you wouldn't miss out more about life. So, last but not the least is Miss Leticia Tan.
Ako, what I realized during this pandemic is parang the purpose and the real reason why we're here, like why on earth are we living? Because you know, parang before pandemic, ako personally, I've been chasing for my dreams and my passion so much. I've been spending all my time and my effort for these things. And then at the end of the day, when this pandemic came, I realized na, why am I doing that? Parang, I know it's my passion, but then for what? Parang, what is my purpose? Why am I chasing after these things? So parang right now, I realize na what really matters is not the dreams or the material possessions you could have. It's not about that. Life is not about that. It's really about knowing your purpose and fulfilling it and having real relationships with real people who love you. So yeah.
Purpose in
Thank
life
you.
and relation. Yeah. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Miss Tan. All
Thank
right, I
you.
already been seeing some comments from your fans, from your supporters. All right, keep them coming. So, ngayon naman, syempre, puro na lang tayo pandemic, di ba? So, medyo maiba naman ang topic natin. So, can you tell me more about your, what do you call this, pageant, pre-pageant life, before this Mr. and Miss Chinatown? So, your pageant journey before this? Anyone can share? Anyone wants to go first? Or let's start again with Mr. Jerick Loy. Jerick.
Okay, so basically pre-pageant, I used to host and model, like a
You're a
freelance
host
host and
too.
model. And yes, I host too,
Cool.
right? It's difficult now because you can't actually go to live events for hosting
Exactly.
because it's not really safe anymore. Yes, and right now I think that social media, the internet, it's right here. Like we can use it freely, and we have to use it to our advantage because we have to adapt to the new norm, right? And it's been hard, but it's way different from what we were usually like what we usually experienced before the pandemic. But of course, we're here to adapt, and that's what we're gonna do to adapt and rise up to the occasion.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Loy. Yeah, I can relate as a host as well. Normally, there would be a lot of gatherings, a lot of people. So now it's kind of hard to do that because of the pandemic. We have to observe social distancing. So, I'm kind of getting used to this as well on hosting online. So it's kind of a new experience for all of us. All right. So thank you again, Mr. Loy. So let's now go to Miss Maxine Kong.
Um, my pageant life before the Mr. and Miss Chinatown was that I actually didn't really want to join pageants. I was more into modeling because I just like to have photo shoots and to dress up, and question and answer really wasn't my thing. But after a lot of people convincing me to, I tried to join pageants that are only in school, like some like just the small pageants that are within school, and I didn't really win first place, but it really made me feel happy and really made me feel fulfilled. And with that I was convinced to try to join the Mr. and Miss Chinatown because it is part I am part of the community, and with that I want to serve as a voice for the Chinoy community who are in my age, since I'm 18. So I want to represent the teenagers, some the people in my age, since I feel like there should be a voice for that. And actually, one thing that happened before I joined Mr. and Miss Chinatown was that I actually was gonna join Mr. and Miss Intrams in our school, but the funny thing was that they told me I was too tall, and because of that, I kind of felt like a little bit sad about that. And then I didn't end up joining that pageant, and I felt like I wasn't gonna join another pageant. And then this opportunity came. It was super unexpected, but I was like, but I'm like super blessed and super happy to be with this opportunity right now, even if it's just online. It's really fulfilling.
Exactly. As long as you're happy with what you're doing, that's already a victory for you, a win for you. Okay, so let's go to Mr. Jiro Go.
So before the pageant, actually, I was living in London. So I was based in UK. So I was doing my master's there. And then after London, I moved to Norway, to Oslo, and then I looked for a job in the financial markets. So right before the pandemic, I was enjoying my life, living by myself, trying to work for myself. But then the pandemic happened. So I wanted to be with my family. That's one thing. So I had to go home right away. And yeah, when the pandemic started, I started to move all my things from Europe to the Philippines again. And of course, I had to look for a full-time job here right after my master's degree. So now I worked as a full-time private markets analyst in a firm here in the Philippines. And ever since the pandemic, I've been working with that company. And then one of my friends from last year who joined the pageant, Stephen, told me, like, why not join Mr. Chinatown this year? I think it would be a good experience for you to try out pageantry, since you just came from Europe, you're fresh out from different country, might as well try something new once you get back. And I was like, okay, I'll check this out. So then I decided to join the pageant, and so far it's been good, and I've been enjoying it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Go. So now let's go to Miss Julian Yap.
So before the Mr. and Miss Chinatown pageant, I took a gap year before medical school as well because I actually graduated last 2019. I wanted to soul search to figure out whether or not medical school was for me, and it is. I'm really glad I finally realized that it really is my dream. And so after that, I occasionally worked for my family company. And I also interned in Impact Leadership under Office of the Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Apart from that, I'm also a full-time medical student. So that's what I've been doing before Mr. and Miss Chinatown.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Miss Yap. Let's go to Mr. Eric Kua.
Yes, I'm back. Ako naman, I have 3 jobs before. I am a professor. I'm a college professor. I teach business subjects, operations management, inventory, and iba-iba pa. Tapos, I'm also an entrepreneur. I have my clothing store. And since nagkaroon ng pandemic, so lahat ng retail store na-close down. So I had to convert it into an online store. And I am also a content creator. So I use my Instagram to post for brands, ganyan. So during the pandemic naman, I think I can share it. I can share my experience with my business. So nag-create ako together with my family, friends, and supporters ng project. It's a charity, and ang beneficiary namin ay yung mga jeepney drivers. So we provided food for them, for their families. So ayun, with the help of my friends. So I joined this pageant because first of all, it's online. Sobrang mas challenging siya for me, and I think mas important siya right now, especially during the issue we have right now together with, yung COVID and Chinese people. So merong stereotyping with that. And I think we are the ones who have to break the barrier and, build build a bridge to connect the two cultures together again. So yeah.
Correct. Thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Kua. Now we have Miss Leticia Tan.
For me naman, before the pandemic, I was actually, I am still a second year college student. And then I'm also an intern under fashion stylist because I really love fashion. And then I also have my own clothing brand, just like Eric. But then now during the pandemic, I'm planning my own brand now, which is about to release on December. So, dun sa brand na yun, I'm actually going to partner with a foundation, and also like it will be a voice then. Like we have podcasts and live streams about the value of life then, because that is my advocacy talaga. And that's why I really wanted to join the pageant. I mean, I was shy at first, but then I realized it's really a good platform to, spread awareness, and it's a good platform to be a voice to the youth, not only to the youth, but to my fellow Filipinos and Chinese citizens out there. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Tan.
Thank you.
All right, so those were all great answers from our aspiring candidates. So now, speaking about advocacy, so basically, when someone joins a pageant, they normally already have this advocacy with them. So I would like to ask, how can you relate your advocacy through the theme, which is rice, right? So I would like to start to Miss Leticia Tan.
Hi. For me, my advocacy kasi is to really, aside from the fact that you're helping people, because for you also relay the fact, the value of life. That really is my advocacy, because I believe na when you help people, you help them, but then there's only a certain span of time where you get to help them. So if you give them food, you would only satisfy their hunger for a short span of time. But then if you really relate to them the value of life and make them realize how beautiful this life is, then their hearts would change, and at the same time you get to help them for a lifetime, not just for a short span of time. So that is my advocacy.
Long-term advocacy. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much for sharing, Miss Tan. So now let's have a random order. Mr. Jirogo.
Okay. So my advocacy is actually growth mindset. So it encourages you to do further learning and education. By education, I don't necessarily mean going into an institution, but by the mere doing simplest things in life, similar to like helping your parents at home, or like learning about different languages, learning about different cultures. You get to have an in-depth understanding of what our world is, of what our culture is, being Chinese and Filipino, and similarly, having this understanding, you would be able to have a more positive outlook in life, that tomorrow will always be a better day, because you know that you get to do more and be more, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. And the good thing about that is you get to see the beauty in everything. Despite this pandemic, despite all the negative experiences in life, you get to see all the beauty in the things around you. So right now in this pandemic, we can see how people, especially the frontliners, help save lives, or especially those people who are working in NGOs, who have these charitable institutions who give food to the jeepney drivers, to the frontliners, to the doctors, and similarly to all the people around the world who's been doing whatever they can to promote this vaccine, to do this vaccine for everyone in this world. And I think that's the most important thing, is to have that mindset that we keep growing and we keep moving forward no matter what.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Go. Now let's go to Miss Maxine Kong.
The message that I want to bring forth, especially during the situation and with the theme that was given to us in the pageant, was to like I said, represent the younger generation of Chinoys, and even like people who aren't Chinoys, just anyone that are in my age bracket, because our generation is the type that kind of has some, like when something happens to us, we kind of feel down, we feel like giving up easily, and that's the hard truth. But with that, I want to spread the word that we can always bounce back from it, we can always grow from it. Since we are young, there's still so much time, so much opportunity, so much new things that we haven't even discovered yet. So I think that I just want to be a beacon of to remind them that there's always gonna be better things that are gonna come for you. There's going to be way more opportunities that are gonna come, even if it's unexpected. I know that because I felt it even like very recently, and especially last year during the hardest times of my life. I felt like giving up, but now here I am, and just want to inspire others that there's always gonna be a silver lining in everything that happens, and there's always gonna be better things that are coming in the future. And with that, I just want to spread the word to bounce back and to rise again from our failures.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Miss Kong. Now let's go to Mr. Jarek Loy.
So for advocacies, I've always pushed for mental health awareness, especially among my friends, my close friends, and my family, because as someone who's experienced a lot of downtimes in my life, it's hard because when you're there, you feel like everything's hopeless, like there's not going to be a tomorrow anymore, and you feel so alone, even though you're surrounded with people. And I want to help people, especially today. I want to share my experiences and hope for the best that it can help them push through. Because what you need right now is just someone to listen. That's all you need, someone to listen and someone to relate to. I think that's going to help a lot of people because it's not going to be easy, like especially today. But I want to tell everyone that there is and always will be a tomorrow to look forward to. That just don't lose hope. And to everyone watching right there, I want to tell you that you're not alone. We are here for you. I am here for you if you need someone to listen to, and we're gonna push through this and rise together.
Awesome. All right. Now let's go to Mr. Eric Kua.
As an educator and as an entrepreneur, I am really a fan of community sustainability. I've always been telling that to people, especially to my friends, na specifically on providing free education and equal opportunity. I think I can do that right now in relating to our movement, which is Rise. No, I think I have enough audience on my social media platform. I think I can do that by uploading videos of myself educationally. And actually, I've been doing this since before pa. Nag-accept ako ng tutorial service for free from my former students. And kasi I think ayun yung kulang eh, especially what we have right now. The school just started yesterday, I think, or the other day. And ang daming kulang, parang ang daming hindi natatap, ang daming hindi nabibigyan ng opportunity na mag-aral, especially those kids, those people na gustong makapag-aral. And it just breaks my heart na hindi natin mabigay sa kanila yung ganong klaseng opportunity. And apart from that, of course, going hand in hand yung after providing free education, equal opportunity, of course, kasi no matter how well educated you are, if you're not given enough opportunity, I think wala din eh, especially the discrimination when it comes to employment regarding age, race, gender. So I think yun yung pinakamahalaga. And as an employer, I actually hire before the pandemic, I hire people na yung college students, working students, or like single moms. So yun. So it's very important for me to provide that to those who are in need.
All right.
That's
Thank you so much, Mr. Kua. All right. So now we have last but not the least. So Miss Julian Yap, go on.
Okay. So for me, to rise is to go beyond your boundaries while setting a good example for the people around you. Remember that change starts with you, and it doesn't have to be big, or it can be small. So, and it starts in your homes. I believe that no success in the outside world will translate if you don't start in your respective homes. So, for instance, you can help your parents adjust to the new normal. You can make their day by making them food, and you can also engage in more pro-social behaviors. Especially since I'm a first-year medical student, I want to be able to lend my voice to empower the frontliners and to advocate for their rest and compensation.
All right. Thank you, Miss Yap. All right, so ayan, dami na nating questions so far. We're getting to know more about our aspirant candidates. Now, let's go to. It's actually your time to promote or to tell your fans regarding this pageant, this contest. So you can tell them. You can tell them now to promote or to vote for you. Hold on. Yeah. So now's your chance to tell your fans, to greet your fans, and to promote yourself. So let's go to Miss Julian Yap again.
Okay. Hi everyone. Thanks for watching. I'm Julian Yap and I hope you watch us on October 18 for the Mr. and Miss Chinatown coronation and support us in all our respective events. I hope you join me in my advocacy to rise and to empower the frontliners as well as rising yourselves because no matter what your profession is, if we all rise together, we can eventually achieve a more inclusive society and overcome this pandemic together. I hope you all have a great night and wishing you all the best.
All right. Thank you. Let's go to Miss Maxine Kong.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to our Monday Night Live here at Pageant Trends. And please don't forget to support us in October 18. That is the coronation night for Mr. and Miss Chinatown. And we have so many activities, so many challenges that will be coming up within this week. So I hope that you guys tune in also for that. And remember to always learn to rise and to build each other up, especially during the situation that we are in right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Mr. Jirogo.
Hi everyone! So, kaway-kaway dyan sa mga fans ko dyan, mga nanonood today. Ayun, I'm very thankful for you guys for tuning in today and I hope you guys support me and my fellow candidates on October 18th. It will be live on Kapamilya channel, so that will be our coronation night. And stay tuned for our TikTok competition. So it will be released on Wednesday, so 7th of October. So so I hope that you guys can watch our TikToks and check out our Instagrams for our posts. And yeah, hope you guys support us. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's go to Mr. Eric Kua.
Hi everyone, I'm Eric and I'm the Mr. Chinatown candidate number 4 and rise with us this coming October 18. That's only at Kapamilya Online and Kapamilya channel. And don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. That's at I am Eric Kua, and so you can see my my contributions on the challenges. Thank you. See you.
Thank you. Let's go to Miss Leticia Tan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leticia Tan, and thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. Thank you for spending your time with us. We hope that you could continue supporting us and watch us this October 18. That is on Kapamilya channel as we have our coronation night. And we hope that we would be a light of hope to you guys and that we would be able to remind you guys that rising is not about putting yourself first, but it is about rising together as one. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And so, last but not the least, it's Mr. Jerick Loy.
Of course, once again, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for all the support that you've given me and my fellow candidates. Of course, don't forget to use hashtag Rise with our names. If you want to support me, then use Jarek, of course. And of course, watch out for our coronation night this October 18 on the Capamilia channel. And of course, for this October 7, our TikTok fashion challenge. Look out for that one too. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. All right, so let's go back to our questions. Right now, we're gonna be flashing some questions on screen. So be ready. So parang kanina warm up lang yon. Ngayon meron tayong additional questions na i-flash namin. So let's just wait for it. Hold on. Ayan. So, what do you like most about yourself? Okay, so let's start with Mr. Jiro Go.
So one thing that I really like about myself is that I love languages. So that's a skill of mine. So I can speak 6 languages. And with those languages that I speak, so it's French, Spanish, English, Filipino, Chinese, and Norwegian. And with those languages, I get to have a bigger understanding, and I could have an in-depth understanding of the different cultures and the different backgrounds of the people that I meet from around the world, not only Chinese Filipinos, but and I think being a Chinese Filipino in this pageant, you have to be able to correlate with other people from other countries as well, so that you'd be able to influence them with your advocacy. So for me, with having a growth mindset, it does not only apply to Chinese Filipinos, but to all individuals all over the world. So yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Go. So, how about you, Miss Maxine Kong? What do you like most about yourself?
I think the thing that I like the most about myself is that I have like this gut feeling to try new things, even if it seems a little scary at first, and I'm not really the most confident out there. I always have this feeling that I should really try this thing or I should give it a shot. And I think that with that, I've gone through so many experiences. I've met so many amazing people along the way. And I think that with that, it gives me more meaning to my life and it gives me more memories and more experiences and more things to be happy about. And so I can say that my life has been really fun and really meaningful.
All right, thank you so much. Now, let's go to Mr. Eric Kua.
Yeah, one thing I like about myself is that I'm driven. Sobrang driven ko, especially pag meron akong gustong gawin sa buhay. And I think that's very important for all of us, especially me, like everyone else. I'm a dreamer. Lahat naman tayo dreamer, no? And ayun, I think being driven brought me places, and hopefully no, if may gusto pa ako in the future, sana matulungan ako ng pagiging driven ko.
I like
Maabot
that
yun.
being
Thank you.
driven. All right, then. So, let's go to Miss Julian Yap.
So I really like how I'm proactive in terms of my priorities. I really go out of my way to ensure that my priorities are checked. And for example, I actually no one in my family is a doctor, and so I wanted to make sure that this particular career path is for me. So I went to my family's doctors, to my mom's dermatologist to talk about my career path. Apart from that, I also make time for my family and my friends. And so I really am proactive in terms of my priorities, and I would do anything for them.
Proactive. Cool. Okay, let's go to Mr. Jerick Louis.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I hosted, and actually, for someone who talks for a living, I really prefer to listen instead, and that's what I like about myself. I'd like to think that that my friends who ask for opinions or any tips on something, they go to me, and I like to think that I'm able to help them. And I guess in my own way, that's my way of telling that I do care for the people who seek for my help. And I think we need that now more than ever, especially with everything that's going on. I think what we need right now are listeners, because the noise that's been happening with the different political issues, the economy, and the COVID, I think a person that listens is something that should be looked forward to. Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Louis. And so last is that we have Miss Leticia Tan.
For me, I'm very passionate. So a while ago, like kanina, sabi ko na parang I'm passionate with fashion, but now I realize I'm also passionate about making an impact on other people's lives. Kasi like when I was about 12 years old, I realized that I was really passionate with fashion, so I created my own business. But then now, I'm making sure that I drive both my passion with fashion and also my passion for making an impact. So then it's really nice to have a business not only to earn my own money, but also to influence others. So I think that makes a difference because now I know that in every action I make, it must be directed to that goal and not anywhere else.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Miss Tan. Welcome. So, let's go to the next question. And na, nasa screen na natin agad-agad. Sabi is, what is one thing that we would not know about you just by looking at you? So, I'm looking at you now, Miss Leticia Tan. Can you answer that question for me?
One thing, kasi people say na I look mean daw when they first see me, but I'm really not. I'm really nice, and I could be I'm really what do you call this? I'm really friendly. Like if you meet me in person, I really want to know more about you. What's the story behind your look, or what's the story behind what you're wearing, or basta like anything about you. I'm really interested in it. I'm not just interested in your physical being, but also your inner being as well. And I really want to make friends with other people. So, just as I said earlier, I want to make an impact in others' lives.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Tan. Let's go to Mr. Eric Kua. Ano hindi namin alam na pagtingnan ka namin?
Ayun. Pag tinignan niyo ako, one thing you don't know about me is kumakausap ako ng pusa. That's number one. Number two, yun. Number two, I love cats kasi parang like especially sa mga open malls in Taguig and Quezon City, they have this parang cats sa di ba, inside the mall. And I talk to them kasi mahilig ako sa cats. Ayun. So that's one thing you don't know about me when you look at me.
All right. Thank you. Cat lover. Okay. Let's go to Mr. Sino sa tingin nyo? Mr. Jirgo.
One thing that you guys would not know about me is that I actually have an identical twin brother. So yeah, so we look exactly the same. We went to the same high school and college, and all of our friends would think that I'm him and he's me from time to time. So yeah, it's super funny having a twin brother because you just get to prank a lot of people, and at the same time, you never know. Maybe he took one of my exams before, or I took one of his exams before. So yeah, you have your pros and cons.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Go. Let's go to Miss Julian Yap.
So one thing that people would not know about me is that I'm actually always striving to be more informed in terms of social issues. I believe that there are some people who have this sort of prejudice when it comes to the Chinoys, that we are ignorant, but then we aren't. I'm really someone who wants to pay attention to local news, to be able to know the stories of my community, and to be able to contribute to society.
All right. Thank you. Next is, let's go to Mr. Jerick Lui.
One thing that you definitely not like know about me, because I get this a lot. People would actually ask me if I really am Chinese because I don't look Chinese at all. I don't have the chinito eyes that my fellow candidates have, which makes them more attractive, to be honest. And I think this lack of quality, the fact that I don't look Chinese, I want to prove to people that it's not the looks that makes a Chinoy. It's the values. It's the personality. It's how you treat other people, especially today. You should treat people with respect, and I want to push that. I want to tell people that it's not just the looks. You have to look deeper. It's beyond looks.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jerick. So last but not the least is Miss Maxine Kong.
A thing that people don't really know about me is that once you get to know me, you'll realize that I really talk a lot. Even in the past interview that I had, the host even said that I look like someone who is shy, who is reserved, who doesn't say a lot of words. And well, yeah, that's kind of true in some scenarios, but once there's a topic that's given to me, I tend to talk about it way too much. And like even my friends say that I talk too much, or I just say so many extra words, or I tend to expound it too much. And I think that that's really something that's funny, but in the same time, it's really useful. especially when there are projects where you need to expound something or essay or something like actually during things like this, like question and answer or just simple kwentuhan. At least I can say a lot about different topics.
Okay, thank you. So I guess we have already called all six of them. Now we would have another. Hold on. So next question I have for you guys is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be? All right, if you could give yourself one piece of advice, what would that be? So yes, Miss Kong.
Well, one advice that I would give to my younger self is to learn to be more optimistic because even until now, even if I'm already like 18 years old, I still struggle to look on the brighter side. Even if that's something that I want to share throughout the world, it's still something that I'm working on. I tend to be really pessimistic, and even some of my really close friends say that, and it's something that I'm not proud of, but in the same time I want to use this time, use my learnings to grow from it and to learn to be more optimistic and to know that even if I fail once, it doesn't mean that it is over. It doesn't mean that I should throw in the towel. I should actually learn from that and learn to develop and and to grow from that. So that I think that's something that I should really teach my younger self. I really wish that when I was younger, I was more optimistic because I feel like by now I could be more knowledgeable and I could be more understanding of this world, but I kind of learned that late. But it's fine because at least now I know, and at least that I can learn from it and I can learn to develop that skill of being optimistic.
Thank you so much, Miss Kong. Let's go to Mr. Eric Kua.
Ako, I only have two things I want to give myself an advice, a younger self an advice. Eat and sleep a lot. Kasi ano tayo, di ba? Especially now na we are all grown ups paying for our own bills, no? Sobrang hirap ng hindi ka nakakatulog and hindi halos di ka makakain because you are too busy. And I think yung those simple things na lagi natin nakakalimutan, it will help us more right now if lagi natin siyang ginagawa. Time to give ourselves time kasi right now, especially me, I can admit like everyone else in this room na uh, I don't give myself time right now. Too much time. I don't give enough time for myself right now. And I think that's very important.
All right, yeah,
That's it,
correct.
sorry. Eat and sleep a lot.
Eat and sleep, yeah, have a lot of rests.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to Miss Julian Yap.
So I used to actually be more of a perfectionist because I romanticized productivity. But like what Eric said, I also want to advocate for rest. Rest is just as productive as moving towards your goals too. And you won't be able to be productive if you don't rest as well. So if I would give my younger self one piece of advice, I'd tell myself to take breaks, and it's okay to cry. To tomorrow's always a new day to be more productive too.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Yap. Let's go to Mr. Jiro Go.
This question is actually super funny because I only have one answer for that. Is you have to take your Chinese education seriously. So I went to a Chinese high school my whole life. It was 13 years of my life, and I have to admit right now that I probably only know about 1/4 of what I learned. And that's something very serious because when I got into college, I realized that my Chinese was I wasn't fluent. So I took extra class in Ateneo for me to prove my Chinese. And then just last year when I was doing my master's degree, I had a rotation in Shanghai. And I would go around the city and I could do the usual conversations, but then once the, for example, I go into a taxi, diba? And then the taxi driver would talk to me about, oh, where are you actually from? Like those deeper conversations, I couldn't talk more because I had that hindrance that I didn't learn it before. So right after that, I started going to my grandfather's house and then asked him for a few words, few phrases, so I could practice my Chinese again. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Go. Last but not the least, Miss Leticia Tan.
For me, if I could tell myself one thing, it would be to stop caring too much about what other people think of me. Because me personally, I tend to overthink a lot, and I think every little detail, people would care about every little detail I do, and I think that the world revolves around me. But that's not the truth. I have to stop overthinking about what would they think of me when I do this and when I do that, because that is so not true. And one thing I would tell myself right now is to stop trying to please everyone, because you can never do that. At the end of the day, you can never please everyone. You can never make everyone like you. But what is important at the end of the day is you show them and you make an impact in their lives. So yeah, thank you.
Exactly. Yes, as long as you're happy, you really don't have to please everyone. Okay, awesome.
Yes, true.
Now we're going to move on to another question. Let's have it flash. Here we go. What do you think is the biggest problem facing young people today? Let's go to
Can,
Mr.
can I answer that?
Ah, sure.
Ay,
We
sorry.
have a volunteer. Hold on.
Sorry.
That's fine. Go, Mr.
Okay
Eric.
lang ba?
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem young people facing right now is yung they are fan of subscribers, likes, comments and shares. Parang I think what's very important right now is to address this. Although there's nothing wrong with it as long as as long as nagagamit siya sa tama, no? But I think kasi parang yun yung nagiging source of validation ng kabataan ngayon. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But hopefully hopefully hindi lang yun yung maging basis natin, yung number of likes, number of subscribers. And I want young children to realize na there's more than that. There's marami pang channel, marami pang platform that you can show your talent na mas kailangan tayo sa real world right now. So I hope we learn to contribute physically or like hindi lang sa social media. So I think kasi yun yung nagiging usually 'di ba pag kami nakikita tayo sa stories natin or sa Facebook or sa YouTube na parang ay nakakaingit naman siya, parang ang perfect ng life niya, or like ay parang gusto ko maging katulad niya, when in reality nakakalimutan natin yung sariling tayo, yung talent natin, yung sarili nating voice na mas marami sana tayong maibibigay, mai-offer sa society. Yun lang.
Thank you. Thank you for being proactive, Mr. Kua. Yeah, you do have a point. Oo nga, kasi ngayon parang lahat tayo tutok sa social media eh. So kung makita lang natin na nakapost to, 'di ba? Parang gusto ko maging katulad niya, yung mga gano'n. Nakakalimutan natin yung sarili natin, na-stress tayo pag di natin na-achieve o nagawa, di ba? Ayun. Okay, so let's go to Miss Leticia Tan.
Ako, like, super ako nag-agree with Eric Asen. Kasi like, yun din yung answer ko. I believe na people right now, especially the youth, parang their identity is based on what the world thinks rather than who they think they are. So parang sa social media, nakakalimutan nila na people post what they want other people to see, but they're not really showing their sadness, their struggles. They don't show it because they want to impress others. And that is what I want to remind the youth. Now, you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You don't have to make anyone like you. As long as you make an impact in other people's lives, because that is the real purpose of life, diba? It's not to make people like you, to have thousands of likes, because at the end of the day, pag walang wifi, wala rin naman lahat ng yun. So I think what really matters is that you fulfill your purpose in life and you make an impact in other people's lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Gusto yan pag walang wifi. Ayun. Okay, so ngayon, let's go to Mr. Jirogo.
For me, it's very similar to what Leticia and Eric said, di ba? Pero for me, in a more general aspect, yung inauthenticity na pinapakita ng mga tao. Alam mo yung each post that they have to put out or each picture, they have to edit their face to make their face look smaller, to make their nose look smaller, di ba? Just love yourself. You're beautiful in your own way. And alam mo yun, at the end of the day, it depends on your perspective. Kung tingin mo maganda ka, kung satisfied ka sa sarili mo, then go for it. Push mo yan. Pero at the end of the day talaga, what matters the most is the inner beauty that you have within yourself, di ba? Is how you look at things in life. So, do you have a positive outlook? Do you think, do you look at things with a silver lining all the time? That's what matters the most. It's not in the external aspect, but it's more for the internal. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Go. And yes, share ko lang kasi there will always be people who would always like you for who you are, di ba? So hindi mo naman kailangan pa aburan ng makeup or edit palagi kasi to your point naman, di ba? It's the inner beauty din naman eh. So thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so let's go to Miss Maxine Kong.
I think that the biggest problem that young people are facing today is that we are afraid of failure. And I think that that's a really big problem because failure is what makes us learn to grow and learn to know what not to do and what to do. And I think that the cause of including me, since I feel that I am part of the young people, I think that the cause of this is the culture that we have. The example of that is the cancel culture, and I think that because of that, people are afraid to make mistakes. People are afraid to fail because other people might think that might easily judge them or might think that it is over. So I really want to teach my fellow young out there that failure is okay, that making mistakes is okay, and canceling others because of their mistakes is not okay because we should learn to build each other up, to educate each other, and to learn from each other. Because if we keep tearing each other apart, how will we have a healthy community? This is really going to affect the mental health of the young people today, and I really fear for that. So with that, I just don't want this fear of failure to continue because it's really going to have a toll on the next generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Kong. Yes, definitely. Mistakes are part of life, you know. It helps us, it teaches us to grow and to be more stronger. Okay, so let's go to Mr. Jerick Louis.
Yes, I do agree with what my fellow candidates said because social media has played a huge role in our lives today, right? And I'd like to point it out to mental health awareness because right now the stigmas that surround it are still rampant. Like we'd like to think that everyone takes mental health awareness seriously, but that's not really the case because most people would actually pay no mind. They just think that it's nothing to be worried about, especially to the point that they actually romanticize depression or anxiety just for the clout on social media, right? And I think that's really not a good way to go forward on mental health awareness. I think researching on what it is about, what and what not to do about mental health is the first step towards that. And I just want people to stop romanticizing for the clout, romanticizing like depression and anxiety for the clout, because everyone goes through a lot of problems, and you never know, you've already affected someone out there reading your tweets or your status on Facebook or Instagram. I just want people to be aware of what they post, especially about a very serious issue like mental health awareness.
Exactly. Thank you. Being more mindful on what we post because mental health is one issue that most of us really tend to ignore. So I
Definitely.
appreciate you giving an emphasis. And last but not the least, Miss Julian Yap.
So, especially now, due to the new normal, where people are turning to social media and different media platforms to be more informed, I want to shed light on the problem that is the prevalence of misinformation. I want to encourage people to check their resources and to engage in a discourse with their comrades, with their friends, with their family, to talk about the more pressing issues that people are dealing with, not just the Chinoys, but the Filipinos in general.
All right, thank you, Miss Yap. Okay, so we're now down to our last question for tonight. Let's flash it on the screen. Dun, 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 dun. Ready na ba kayo, guys? Last question.
Yep.
Okay. So, habang hintayin natin na mag-post, ituloy ko na. Actually, may idea naman ako ng question na to. So, if you guys, or if you will be crowned as Mr. and Miss Chinatown Philippines 2020, okay, how do you plan on juggling the responsibilities of the crown with the demands of your current life? Ang ating last question. So, Julian Yap, sorry.
So,
Go first. Go.
my schedule has always been a bit more hectic. I am a medical student after all, and that's not just the role that defines me. I'm an achi, I'm a daughter, I'm a student, and I have my separate advocacy. So I plan on juggling my responsibilities by making time for by prioritizing my priorities, making time, and really, it's because I really believe in my advocacy, which is to empower the frontliners. I actually do that already with my family. We donate to frontliners through our Instagram account, which is at Kicks by Rain, if you want to follow. So I plan on juggling my responsibilities by making a timeline, and really because I'm proactive in terms of my goals.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go to Mr. Jirogo.
For me, this is definitely a prestige and it's a huge responsibility. And of course, if I were to win the crown, it would be my priority. Of course, I didn't join this pageant just to make pagwapo, diba? Or just to be there to show my advocacy to people. Pero wala man akong gagawin, diba? That's not the case. But then, for me, what I really want to do is to promote growth mindset, and that would be my main priority, because growth mindset does not only entail to Chinese Filipinos and just Filipinos, but also to the people all over the world who's been affected by this pandemic. In reality, there are billions of people around the world who's been struggling, who has lost their passion to doing something great, lost their jobs, lost family members. And would we just stop from there? Of course not. We want to have someone with a voice who's going to step up and make sure that you create the movement with the help of all the other candidates who are here right now. And we just uplift each other up to promote this growth mindset. And of course, the whole RISE advocacy, which is to rebuild, inspire, strengthen, and empower others. And that's what we're here for. So definitely it'll be a priority of mine. And of course, balancing my personal life and that would be the case, but that's a definite priority for me. So thank you.
All right. Appreciate it, Mr. Go. Let's go to Miss Leticia Tan.
Same with my fellow candidate Jiro as well. When you applied for this competition, you must have already this mindset na you are going to win. You know you are going to claim the crown. And if you're going to claim the crown, then you know that it must be a priority. Because just as Jira said, this is a huge responsibility and a huge honor to have this platform as your voice. And as for me, I'm a student, I'm an entrepreneur, and if ever I win this, then I'd have that as well. So I think what matters here is that you only have one advocacy in all aspects of your life. So for me as a student, that is my advocacy, to share and to influence others in terms of the value of life. And for my business as well, that is my advocacy as well. So I think it really is it really comes to different aspects in your life. But then if you have one advocacy and one goal, so then everything would lead to that. So it is just a matter of balancing these aspects, but having one goal pa rin, which really matters for me.
Thank you, Miss Tad.
Thank you.
Welcome. Let's go to Mr. Erkua.
For me naman, having three jobs at a time before, I think hindi na bago sa akin yung mag-juggle ng task on a responsibility. And if I'm gonna add this responsibility as Mr. Chinatown 2020, I think that's why I always have my planner with me. No, I think hindi siya mahirap because like what Leticia said, I have a common ground for everything, for what I do, to influence, to voice out, and to make action, of course. Kasi it's not enough that you are voicing out your advocacies and what you want to do, but dapat may actions palagi. And I think yun yung common ground ko with everything, as a teacher, as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, and hopefully as Mr. Chinatown 2020 na hindi na siya magiging mahirap sa akin because yun. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kua. All right, let's go to Miss Maxine Kong.
Well, for me, for all the candidates, we know that this year's Mr. and Miss Chinatown is more focused on being a movement rather than a pageant. And with that, I don't really want to see the responsibility of the crown as another aspect of my life. Together with my academics and my extracurriculars and my small business, but I want it to become part of my lifestyle, rather something that encapsulates the everything that I do. It's more of the value that I carry. And if ever I do win the crown, then that would be great honor for me. And in the same time, I could use that platform. I can use as a avenue to create action, just like what the other candidates say. It is all the taking action and doing something is way more impactful rather than just encouraging through words. And with that, I think that I really want to use this platform, this avenue to jumpstart or to be a stepping stone for future projects to happen, because I really want that to happen soon. I just really want to create a change and really want to help other people. And I hope that if ever I'm given the opportunity, I can jumpstart a project soon in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Kong. And last, we have Mr. Jerick Loy.
Yes, for me, definitely it's about priority. Like what my fellow candidates already mentioned, we're here not just because we want to look good in front of all of you. We're here because we're actually serious about our advocacies. And for me, as someone who advocates for mental health awareness, I think like I'm gonna have this if ever I win at Mr. and Miss Chinatown 2020, I'm gonna prioritize it. This is going to be my life for the whole duration of being the winner, of being having the crown with me. And as someone, I'm lucky enough right now because my schedule is flexible. I do freelance graphic design online, and this is going to be the perfect opportunity for me to push through with my advocacies, to tell people, to tell everyone, because we're not just representing the Filipino Chinese community, we're representing the whole world, especially amid the pandemic right now. And I want to show people that we can do it together.
Thank you, Mr. Loy.
Thank you.
All your answers are amazing. I can already tell that you guys are already winners in your own right. Now we come to the part where we can actually give our fans our last message. Any final message that you have for your supporters, your loyal fans out there? Mr. Jerick Loy?
Of course, maayong gabi sa mga taga Davao na nagatanaw karon. Good evening to everyone else, of course. Thank you so much for your support. I love you guys with all my heart, and I appreciate every message that you send me, every words of encouragement, every tip, especially my friends right now who are commenting so much, and my family who's watching right now in the living room. Thank you so much. Please support me. Use hashtag Rise with Jerick and watch us all this October 18 again for our coronation night. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you, Mr. Loy. Miss Maxine Kong. What can you tell your fans?
Thank you so much for all the support since day one, and especially to my family there. I can there in the comments I can see them watching. Thank you so much for supporting me and for giving me this opportunity to have my shot here in the Mr. and Miss Chinatown. And also, thank you so much to my friends who are watching, especially there in the comments. I can especially see Elaine and Cheska and Zeus commenting there. Hi. Thank you so much for supporting, and thank you so much for just giving me so much encouragement and so much support, because I feel like in the end of the day this is all really worth and really all fulfilling. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Call. All right. Your final message, Mr. Eric Kua, to your loyal fans, your family.
Thank you so much for supporting me since day one, and you can continue supporting me by using the hashtag Rise with Eric, and follow me on Instagram. That's at I am Eric Kua. So you can follow my journey on until October 18. That's the coronation night, only at Kapamilya Online and Kapamilya Channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kua. All right, Miss Julian Yap.
Okay, so I just like to thank my family. Thanks for watching. I know you guys are already sleepy and you're still taking the time to watch and support me. And I also want to thank my friends at, people in med. Like it's so hectic our schedule, and you still take the time to watch me and support me. And I wouldn't be here without your support. So thank you, and please continue to rise with us.
Thank you. All right, let's go to Mr. Go.
Hi, everyone. So I would like to say thank you to everyone who's watching right now, and especially to my friends Joni, Stephen. Thank you for tuning in and supporting me, putting in all those hashtags. And to all my family and friends in Norway, tusen takk for at du støtter meg her I Chinatown 2020. Tusen takk. And finally, to my families who's watching right now, 谢谢大家.
Awesome. Thank you. And we have Miss Leticia Tan. Final message.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank everyone who is watching and spending your time here with us today. Tonight, even if it's already late, we thank you so much for your support. And I also want to thank my family and friends who have been constantly supporting me and reminding me why am I here. And it is not about me, it is about making an impact. And I hope that you guys would continue supporting us on October 18th for our coronation night. And I hope that we would be able, my fellow candidates and I would be able to remind you guys that Mr. and Miss Chinatown is not a competition, but it is a platform for us to be able to share our own advocacy so that together we could rise. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Miss Maxine Kong. Hold on. Yep.
I think I'm already done.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There's a little confusion here.
Okay.
I already told them that you were already cold. All right. Perfect. So I guess that wraps up everything. And I appreciate all of you guys for having us for today. And also, I'd like to thank again Mr. Miko Araneta, the director of Pageant Trend, for having us, for making this possible for this live interview for today. And again, this is Mark Alvey, your host for today. You can follow me on Instagram, Mark_Alvey, or you can also subscribe on my YouTube at Mark Alvey TV. Thank you again so much, guys, and I hope that you would have a great evening. Thank you for having us. 谢谢。